Today we're talking about literal equations, and specifically we're going to be solving for y actually today and tomorrow. And when we're solving literal equations, we're always going to start with highlighting what we want to isolate, and then we're just going to solve from there using SADMAG. And I'm going to show you how to check your work using Desmos. So in summary, highlight, solve, and check. Let's try a couple. So what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for the y, so we want to go ahead and highlight that. How do I get y by itself? Well, what's the invisible operator before this 2x? It's a plus. So I'm going to do the opposite. This makes a zero pair, and y is by itself. On the right, I have negative 2x minus 1, and I'm done. Now, how can I check this? Well, I'm going to check this by putting this line and this line, the first line and the last line, in Desmos, and they should cover each other. Let's check and see if they do. So here we have the first line that we started with. We were asked to solve for y, and you can see this makes this orange line here. Now, if I click on this, which is the same thing that I just found at the final line, the blue line should cover the orange. And if the blue line covers the orange line, then we've solved correctly. So this is correct. Let's try another one. We're going to start by highlighting. Highlight the y, that's what we're asked to solve for. There is an invisible plus sign here, so I want to do the opposite. What I do on the left, I do on the right. I'm left with negative y is equal to negative 3x plus 4. Is y by itself? Is the coefficient here 1? It's not. So I need to divide by negative 1. And what I do on the left, divide by negative 1, I'm going to do to every term on the right, every single one of them. Y is equal to 3x, because negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3, minus 4, because positive 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4. And this is the answer. So when I type this into Desmos, this first line, and this last line into Desmos, the blue line should cover the orange. Let's give it a try. Our first line, our last line, I'm going to click on this. The blue line covers the orange, so we've solved correctly. We're going to highlight this y, but not the 4, because we just want the y by itself. Okay? We just want the y by itself. I'm going to start by adding x to both sides. I want this by itself. This 4 is closer, so remember SADMAG, we're going to undo the addition and subtraction first. This makes a zero pair, and we're left with 4y is equal to x. Now we need to undo the multiplication. We undo the multiplication with division, and y is equal to x over 4, which is the same thing as y is equal to 1 over 4x. And I do want you to write it this way. You'll get used to it. The invisible numerator here is 1. So we're going to type this line into Desmos, and we're going to type this line into Desmos right here. And we're going to see if they match. So first line, last line, does the blue cover the orange? Yes. Let's highlight. And remember that wrapping paper, right? We're going to take this paper off first. The wrapping paper analogy. We have negative 2y is equal to negative x plus 6. And now we're going to undo the box. Undo the multiplication by division. We're going to divide into each term. Everything divided by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2, that's a 1 pair. Y equals negative 1 divided by negative 2 is positive 1/2. And we'll check that in Desmos. And 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. So we're going to check, and I'm going to show you guys because I know that you have a hard time with fractions, but if you're struggling and if you don't know what negative 1 divided by negative 2 is, put this into Desmos and it will tell you it's positive 1/2 because a negative divided by a negative is positive. So top line here and the bottom line here. One should overlay the other, and I'm gonna show you how to check this fraction. We put this into Desmos so you can see negative 1 divided by negative 2 is 0.5, but if you click on this little fraction button over here, it's going to give you the proper fraction. So negative 1/2 divided by negative 2 is equal to 1/2. So our top line, our bottom line of our solving, does the blue cover the orange? Yes. Okay, let's highlight our y and start undoing with SADMAG. The invisible operator here is a plus. The opposite is minus. Minus 3x on the left and the right. I have negative 6y equals negative 3x plus 18. And I need to divide everything by negative 6 to get y by itself. I'm left with y is equal to positive 3/6 x minus 3. Now, question, this is a tricky one on purpose, right? Can this be reduced? So 3/6, if I divide the top by 3 and I divide the bottom by 3, I'm left with 1/2. Okay. And again, if this is something we struggle with, we can do this in Desmos. So we're actually left with y is equal to 1/2x minus 3. And if I put this line and this line in Desmos, they will match. Let's try it. So again, if reducing fractions is something you struggle with, if dividing negatives by negatives, negative 3 divided by negative 6, what is it? Well, the calculator says it's 0.5, but again, I can push on this little button here, and it's going to tell me it's 1/2. Now here's our first line, and here's our last line. Does the blue line cover the orange? Yes, so we've solved this correctly. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.